classify instruments or put them into groups. Last year, we talked about putting them into groups for pitched and unpitched. This year, we're going to put them into groups based on what they are made of. All of the instruments that you're going to see on the next 3 slides are instruments that we have here in our classroom. You might remember seeing them last year, and I hope soon you'll get to see them again. But they'll be here whenever you come back. The first group of instruments is made of wood. We have the xylophone with wooden bars, the wood block, the rhythm sticks, the claves, the tone block, and the tempo blocks. All of these instruments are made of wood. Yes, the tempo blocks are on a metal stand, but the part that makes the sound is made of wood, so these instruments are all wood. Next we have metal. Maybe. There we go. We've got the flexitone, the metallophone, wind chimes, finger cymbals, triangle, sleigh bells, and cabasa. Some of these look a little bit tricky. The cabasa, the wind chimes, the metallophone, even maybe the sleigh bells. That's because you see other materials with them. But the wood frame, the wood box, the wooden handle are just there for you to hold the instrument. When the instrument makes a sound, what moves and vibrates? On the metallophones, it's the metal bars. For the wind chimes, it's the metal chimes. The cabasa has metal beads that scrape across a piece of metal on the inside here. And the jingle bells or the sleigh bells have metal inside that hits the metal that's on the outside. So the other pieces are just there to help make the sound happen. The same with the triangle that might have rope or rubber on the ends, and the finger cymbals that may have rope, or ours have zip ties, but honestly those work really great, so not complaining about it. So just because there's other materials that you see, we have to think about what is actually making the sound. And in this case, all of these things are metal. The last group is called membrane. Membrane means skin, like animal skin. Many, many years ago, and still some today, but mostly many years ago, drums were made from animal skin. They would take the animal, and they didn't just kill an animal for its skin. They used every part of the animal, especially groups in Africa and North America, Native Americans who lived here for many, many, many years before they were discovered and we knew that they lived here. And one of the things that they did was use animals to help their lives. They were very respectful of the animals that they killed, and one way that they thought would be important to be respectful is to use every part of the animal. So they would use bones for tools and things, they would use parts of the body for food, and then the skin they could use for clothing or to help with shelter or to make drums. And drums were very important, and still are, very important in ceremonies and different things happening in different cultures. Today, there are so many drums made for so many reasons that most of them are what we call synthetic, which means they're made in a factory. They have the same kind of way that they act as animal skin that was pulled tight over a frame, but they're factory made and they're not made of animals. In school here, we have the djembe drum, the hand drums, and the tubano drums. All of them are synthetic, but we do have one djembe that is an animal skin, and I believe it's a goat skin, because that's commonly what's used in Africa when making this drum. It wouldn't make sense to make every single drum in the world out of animal skin. We would run out of animals. And we couldn't use the rest of the animal the way that we should. And it's not right to just kill an animal for one part of it. So this way everybody is able to have a drum and enjoy it and play it. And they've invented some really interesting ways to create synthetic skin. So membrane means skin, but when you're thinking about the drums in our school, they are all but one synthetic or not real. But these are the three categories that we're going to look at. There are some other instruments that are not here that you might think of and might wonder what they are. And the reason that they're not included is because they could be confusing. Instruments like the thunder tube that have a metal spring but also a membrane technically are both because they wouldn't work or sound the same if they didn't have both of those elements. Tambourines, some of them have a drum head on the top and then the silver cymbals all around the edge. And that really creates a different sound. And the drum head makes a difference when it's there. So that could technically be both. And there are quite a few other ones. There are instruments made of plastic, like some of the maracas and the egg shakers. So there is almost a fourth category of other stuff. But we're just going to stick to the three categories of wood,